Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to tell you about a pretty exciting Snorlax card. Although this Snorlax does come with a big caveat, we'll get there in a moment. Now, this is a promo, which is going to be given away with the upcoming Korokoro magazine, I want to say. One of the Korokoros. There are a few of them over in Japan. But this is one I actually kind of want to get my hands on because I love this Snorlax. This Snorlax looks fun. So we're going to get it in some kind of future set. It'll be popped in somewhere. But we are getting it for the moment, or Japan is, as a promo in the upcoming Korokoro. So, the important thing about Snorlax is it is a single strike Pokemon. It is in fact the first... No, that's not true. I was going to say it's the first single strike Pokemon we've seen, but that's not actually, or the promo, but that's not actually true, because I showed you the Cinderace V, which is going to be a promo if you buy a box of Single Strike Master in Japan. So I suppose the best we can say is, it is the first single prize, single strike promo card. Apologies for the croakiness, I blame winter. So, starting off then in terms of the stats, it's got 140 HP, which is huge. Like 140 HP for a single prize Pokemon is, well, frankly really big. It's even more than the one from Vivid Voltage had, and the one from Vivid Voltage was a pretty good card, quite frankly. We liked the one from Vivid Voltage. Hey ho. To be fair, that one still got the awesome ability that lets you draw until you got 7 cards in your hand if it's active and ends your turn. Tropical Beach as an ability, it's really good. But this Snorlax got 140 HP, that is huge, we like it. It's also got a retreat cost of 4, which means you can play it with buff padding, which is awesome. Of course, you could also play it with Cape of Toughness, and that would work just as well. Take your choice. Until rotation, when you're forced into Cape of Toughness. Yeah, you're weak to fighting, and being weak to fighting is a little bit rubbish, because you share a weakness with things like Pikachu and Zekrom and Eternatus VMAX that do see a bunch of play, but you're a single prize Pokemon, it's not the end of the world, you'll probably be alright. And you're a colourless Pokemon, which doesn't give you many tricks, but it does mean you can use powerful colourless energy to do an extra 20 damage, which might be genuinely relevant. Now, if we start off, this is not a particularly exciting Pokemon. 2 energy, 30 damage, nobody particularly cares. Yes, you can use Twin Energy to pay the energy cost in one attachment, but nobody really cares. Because it's 30 damage. Ooh, I go second, turn 1, I'm doing 30 damage. Great. Maybe my opponent's got Magikarp. And there are a few Pokemon out there that tend to be 30 HP. Wishy-Washy would be another example. That would work. But honestly, it's not particularly exciting. Unless you get really lucky, don't expect to be getting lots of KOs here. But this is where we start talking about it as a single strike Pokemon. Because now we've got some tricks, like Single Strike Energy. Single Strike Energy is an energy that can only be attached to a single strike Pokemon, like Snorlax, but it lets you do an extra 20 damage, like powerful colourless energy. But of course, with Snorlax being a colourless single strike Pokemon, it is the first Pokemon we've seen that can use both. And that is genuinely extremely relevant. Because maybe that 30 damage isn't 30 damage. Maybe it's 70 damage. And for those of you paying attention, 70 damage is huge. 70 damage is Jirachi. 70 damage is Galarian Zigzagoon. 70 damage is the majority of evolving basic Pokemon. Not all of them, but the majority of them. So essentially, you should be able to get KOs here. And that is big. Like, genuinely really big. If you go first, you attach one of them turn 1, one of them turn 2, and all of a sudden you're hitting 70 damage, and you've used a couple of special energy, etc., and that's a little bit annoying, but you've also got a key KO before your opponent's really had much of a turn. That's good. Well, okay, they've had one turn, but still, they've not been able to evolve, etc., which is important. But also, we've got Houndoom. And Houndoom's a really good one here because it lets you search your deck for a Single Strike Energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, just so long as you're willing to put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. And what that means is you can get this energy even easier. So now imagine you've got a Houndoom out, use Houndoom, and then you attach a powerful colorless energy or another single strike energy, it doesn't really matter. And now all of a sudden you're doing 70, but you're getting it rolling in one turn, but you're not relying on twin energy. As far as I'm concerned, if you're using this attack with twin energy, things have gone wrong. But wait, it gets even better. Because the second attack for free energy does 120 damage. You also do 30 to yourself. And shout out to me for the translation, because, well, I looked at it, took a guess, and compared it to Steelix V, and you'll notice that Steelix V also has an attack that does 30 damage to itself. And if you go and look at a Japanese scan of Steelix V, you will notice that the characters are exactly the same. Go Wassy, go, go, go Wassy, go. One day I'll be able to read and translate them properly. I'm trying to learn, but that day is not today. So you're doing 120 damage for free energy, which is not particularly great, unless you're a single strike Pokemon. Because when you're a single strike Pokemon, things look a whole bunch better. I've already mentioned Houndoom. Houndoom lets you attach a single strike energy from the deck, so that means you're not hitting 120, you're hitting 140. And this is where twin energy actually comes in. Because now you attach twin energy for the turn, you use Houndoom, and now you're hitting 140 damage on a single prize Pokemon. And 140 damage is great. I mean, 140 damage will get a stage 2 Decidueye. It won't get all of the single prize Pokemon, there'll be a bunch that you don't get. But you will get most single prize Pokemon, including weaker stage 2s like Decidueye. And this is gigantic. Except there's one other card here that really starts making Snorlax look fun. And that is Mustard Single Strike Stance. Now, Mustard is basically the modern equivalent of a card like Archie's. If you've got 0 cards in your hand, you can play this, and you draw 5 cards, and you play a single strike Pokemon. But, and this does go against the translation, when I originally did this video, I apologise, but I've corrected myself a couple times, and I correct myself again here. This gets from the deck. So you don't need to discard Houndoom in order for this to work. What you need is this: Snorlax, twin energy, empty your hand. That's it. That's the entire combination. Well, and obviously this card. If you can draw Snorlax and Mustard and empty your hand and a twin energy, you are good. But remember, the twin energy can be drawn off of the Mustard. You don't need to have it in advance. So you need a Snorlax, you need a Mustard, you need to empty your hand, and before or with the 5 cards from Mustard, either will do, you need to hit a twin energy. Mustard will get your Houndoom. Houndoom will get your single strike energy, and then you're hitting 140 damage, turn 1 going second, because that's when you can play your supporter, and that's when you can attack. And this is big. If Snorlax wasn't a single strike Pokemon, I wouldn't even be remotely interested in it. I still love it because it's Snorlax. I still love my big boy Snorlax, but it wouldn't be an interesting card. But the fact of the matter is, when you build in Houndoom, Single Strike Energy, and Mustard, all of which are very much single strike cards, Snorlax becomes really genuinely good. Turn 2, go second, and bearing in mind, right, in a single strike deck, you're going to be playing Mustard. You're going to be playing Houndoom. You're going to be playing Single Strike Energy, I imagine at least. They seem really good. So why would you not? Just play 1 copy of this Snorlax, and then, because we're all playing stuff like Quick Ball to search out our basics super easily. So on turn 1, all you need, Twin Energy, Snorlax, and Mustard, bearing in mind the Twin Energy can be drawn off the Mustard. That's all you need in order to get 140 in a single turn. And if your opponent hasn't evolved, and if you go second they won't have, sure, there'll be a bunch of Pokemon V that can survive, but that's it. That's all they're going to have. If they've got a non-V in the active, a non-GX obviously, you are almost certainly going to get the KO. I'm giving this between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I really like this. I don't think it's a deck in and of itself, and I think you need to play Twin Energy, and that could honestly be the thing that stops it. playing a Twin Energy might be too awkward. But even if you don't play Twin Energy, if you got 2 Houndoom out, 2 Single Strike Energy and a third Energy of any description, and you're hitting 160, maybe more in a single turn, and that could be big. Don't forget that we've got Emboar that will do an extra 30 damage on your attacks as well. And you can stack Single Strike Energy and you can stack Emboar. So, now these aren't turn 1 options, these are later in the game, but you've got a really payable attack cost from a Pokemon that does a decent amount of damage that can easily be added to. I love it as a turn 1 potential donk option, and I love it as just a single energy, decent damage attacker as you go through the game. Consider me a fan, ladies and gentlemen. Consider me a fan. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching a slightly croakier than normal PTCG Radio.